Hey friends, I'm Amy, and today we're making a delicious and decadent celebration of chocolate, caramel, toffee, and whipped cream, the Better Than Sex Cake. Crazy name, I know, and we'll have to decide if the cake lives up to that, because that's a tall order. We're also making a little departure from the norm with this one, because while you can make this from scratch, sometimes you gotta decide just how far down that from scratch rabbit hole you want to go. Most recipes for this one also call for specific products and amounts, so to achieve the right textures and flavors, we're just making this as directed. So let's get cooking. To start, preheat the oven to 350 degrees and make sure the rack is in the middle position. Next, grab a 9x13 baking dish and give it a little spray of oil, or you can wipe a little oil in it just so it's lightly greased. In a large bowl, dump in one 15.25 ounce box of chocolate fudge cake mix, and you want to make sure it's 15.25 ounces. Some brands sell 13.25 ounce boxes, so make sure to double check that you have that larger box for this one. Next, add one 5.85 ounce box of instant chocolate pudding mix. Pour in 1 cup of whole milk, a half cup of either avocado, canola, or vegetable oil, and 3 large eggs. Now stir all this together until everything is combined and the batter looks pretty smooth. It'll still look just a little gritty because the pudding mix in there just hasn't had time to fully melt into the liquid yet, but that's okay. That will melt just fine as the cake is baking. You just don't want clumps of dry ingredients because that won't melt in. Dry ingredient lumps in a cake batter can create dry, hard bits of unabsorbed cake mix, or even weird rising differences, and it'll make the cake look kind of lumpy or lopsided when it comes out of the oven. So as long as there's no dry clumps and all you can see is those lighter grits of the pudding mix, then we're good. Now grab the 9x13 baking dish we prepared earlier and scrape all the cake batter into the pan. Smooth the cake batter out into an even layer as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it will do a little bit of self-leveling in the oven as it gets hot and more fluid, but you don't want big mountains and valleys in the batter. So as even as you can, and then pop this in the oven to bake at 350 for 30 to 35 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center of the cake comes out clean. While the cake is still hot, use a chopstick or the handle of a wooden spoon and poke holes in the cake. But when you're poking holes in it though, you don't want to go the whole way through the cake, so there's an opening to the bottom of the pan. We only want to go about 2/3 of the way through the cake. So poke holes all over the top, and they don't have to be uniform. You just don't want large areas of the cake without holes in it. But at the same time, don't annihilate the top of the cake either. Maybe leave an inch or so between each hole so the cake holds together. Grab one 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, and we're gonna drizzle the whole thing over the top of the cake, making sure to pour it over the holes as much as we can. Now you'll see that some of the condensed milk will start seeping into the holes right away, but a lot of it's just gonna sit on top of the cake, and that's okay. Just drizzle until you run out of sweetened condensed milk and you've kind of covered the cake with it. If the holes are too small and it's not starting to seep in, you can use your chopstick to widen them a little, but you don't want to go any wider than a wooden spoon handle. After the sweetened condensed milk, drizzle about a half cup of caramel sauce all over the top of the cake. And you want this to be a drizzle, not a whole caramel layer. I just eyeballed the sauce because it's easier to drizzle it out of the bottle than it is from a measuring cup. This one, again, it doesn't have to be exact. You just don't want to drown the cake in caramel sauce for this level. Next, we have our whipped topping. Gently spoon on an entire 8-ounce tub of whipped topping, like Cool Whip, and gently spread it over the cake. Be careful not to dig down and mess up the milk and caramel under there. Just gently work it out to the side so the entire cake is covered with a thick layer of whipped topping. You can swirl it, make it look fancy if you want to, or you can just leave it looking nice and rustic and homemade. Coverage is the thing we're looking for here. Next step, and if you thought it was decadent before, you just wait. Sprinkle a half cup of chopped up heathbars on the top, which is going to be about 2 of the regular sized bars. When you chop it up, you don't need the pieces to be uniform. You just want a rough chop so that the pieces are small enough that they don't break your teeth when you bite into a piece of the cake. Next, we're gonna sprinkle on half a cup of chopped up chocolate bar, like a Hershey bar, on top of that. And for both of these, don't forget the little bitty chocolate crumbs either. Those little crumbs fill in the gaps between the large pieces of chocolate and toffee, and they just make the cake look so pretty. Next, because we still just don't have enough crazy on this cake, drizzle another half to 2/3 of a cup of caramel sauce on top of the cake. I went diagonal for the sake of pretty, but you can do swirls, diagonals, or just splatter some caramel chaos on there if you want. Last step, and I know the steps are real, but this one is the most important step. Pop this in the fridge for at least an hour before cutting into it. Right now, the sweetened condensed milk and the first drizzle of caramel are still just sitting under the whipped topping, and they haven't fully soaked into the cake yet. Eating it right now would be a regular cake with a layer of sweetened condensed milk on top. And while I love sweetened condensed milk, especially when I'm making sweet cream coffee creamer, a mouthful of unadulterated sweetened condensed milk is interesting, to say the least. So pop it in the fridge and give it an hour to soak in. It's been an hour, so let's cut into this cake. It should cut very easily. There shouldn't be anything sticking to the bottom of the pan. You should be able to see that the condensed milk and the caramel layer has been completely absorbed by the cake, which is exactly what we were waiting for. We don't have bunches of the milk hanging out under the cake, which means our cake's gonna be nice and moist, but not to the point of being juicy or soggy. Poke cakes like this one are always very moist cakes, and there may be a tiny little bit of condensed milk at the bottom in places. We just don't want cake soup. So this cake is ridiculous. I dare say it's as ridiculous as that copycat Chili's peanut butter cup cheesecake we made a while back. Yeah, that much ridiculous. It does seem lighter though than you would think with all the layers on this monstrosity. I mean, it's about as rich as chocolate cake gets, but it's not dense and heavy. It's just very rich. The caramel, the toffee, the chocolate on top, little chef's kisses in every bite. They add flavor, texture. That toffee crunch is just perfect. And the whipped topping, it's nice and light and airy, keeps everything from being stodgy. I'm not sure how else to describe it, and I watch a lot of Great British Bake Off, so that's the only word I can think of. A regular frosting would be way too thick and heavy for this, but the whipped topping is perfect. But does this cake live up to its name? It's epic and delicious and decadent, and a ton of other food words I can't think of right now. But it's too rich to eat all the time, so it's definitely an occasional thing. Not sure if that's a good comparison though. I guess it depends. You let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy making delicious food, because we make a little bit of everything here, but all of it is fantastic. Come and hang out with me on Wednesdays for all your favorite copycat recipes from our favorite restaurants. They've been turning out so much better than anything I have ever been served at a restaurant, and they're also so much better on the budget. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back here next Sunday for some more comforting, cozy home cooking. Bye!